Hello and welcome to today's webinar, University of Stirling's BA Accounting and Finance with CMA. Thank you for taking time out and being here today. I am Dr. Sufi Anwar, Director Academics, University of Stirling, Ras Al Khaimah campus. Today's host is my colleague Ms. Nishi, CMA, also a double postgraduate, MA in Accounting and Finance and MSc in Finance. Nishi will take you through Stirling BA Honours Accounting and Finance, the CMA by IMA USA, the unique opportunity to combine both, and also the top reasons why you should study with us. We will be running a live Q&A at the end of the webinar. Please feel free to post your questions on the chat box. We have with us Ms. Shanti Rajan, Director Institutional Development, Mr. C.T. Sunil Kumar, Program Director Accounting and Finance, and Manager Marketing and Admissions, Mr. Jason, to answer all your questions after the presentation. Before we start the presentation, let me quickly give you an overview of our university. University of Stirling is a globally recognized top-ranked university based in Scotland with more than 14,000 students currently enrolled and studying various programs, both at undergraduate and master's level. As per the QS World University Ranking 2020, University of Stirling has been awarded 5-star in teaching, employability, internationalization, facilities, and inclusiveness. We are consistently being awarded high ranks by the Complete University Guide, the Guardian University Guide, Times and Sunday Times Good University Guide, amongst others. The US branch campus in RAC started its operations in the year 2018. We are offering accounting, business, finance, and computing programs both at the undergraduate and master's level. The student experience in terms of academic quality, course material, teaching techniques, assessment practices, and access to learning resources are identical to that of students in the main campus in UK. Let's listen to the presentation by Nishi. Make an informed decision to join our unique BA Honours Accounting and Finance with CMA. As we say at Stirling, be the difference. Thank you. Over to Nishi now.
Thank you, Dr. Sufi Anwar. Good morning once again to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for our information session. I am sure most of you who are joining us are interested in the accounting and finance field, and maybe you are considering to pursue a career path in accounting and finance, and maybe you might be having some doubts and concerns whether accounting and finance might be the right career path for you or not. I really hope by the end of this information session, we provide you with more information and more clarity so that you can make informed decision. So with that being said, I want to begin my presentation today by addressing some of the common misconception I often hear about accounting and finance professionals and accountants in particular. I often get a lot of people tell me that accountants have a very boring job. Their job is a desk job, and all day they do calculations and they just have to deal with bills and make tax payments. And it's often accountants are being equated to doing taxes. Well, in reality, an accountant's job is much more than dealing merely with bills and taxes. It's more complex and it is very interesting. I would say accountants are like the unsung heroes of our economy. Now, that might sound a bit far-fetched, and you might be thinking that I'm being biased over here because I'm an accounting and finance professional. Let me give you some perspective. We or most of us are aware that accounting and finance professionals deal with financial data, and our traditional role is recording and compiling these financial data and presenting these financial data in various reporting formats and statements, and then we accounting and finance professionals evaluate them. But what people don't realize is that this financial data is actually very powerful and very valuable. This financial data actually gives hints and clues on what possible uncertain events can happen, or any uncertainty can happen, and how possibly a firm can navigate through unexpected events and uncertainties. And we all know we are constantly faced with uncertainties. Our life is very uncertain. Sometimes it takes a pandemic like COVID-19 for us to realize it. But whether a pandemic or not, we always have uncertainties. And a very competent accountant can actually use this financial data very effectively in strategic planning and decision making. And they can provide the company with a route map on how to navigate unexpected events and uncertainties. So basically, I would say accountants are like soldiers. Every day they are battling uncertainties continuously, and the only weapon they have is this financial data. And they have to use this financial data very cleverly and creatively to shield the firm as well as the economy. So our BA Honors Accounting and Finance, the flagship program, does exactly that. Our program equips our students with all the relevant knowledge and skills related to accounting and finance, and they equip our students to be heroes of an economy. And our rankings speak for ourselves. We are one of the top 5 in Scotland for accounting and finance, and this is as per as the latest results published by Times and Sunday Times Good University Guide 2020. So our rankings speak our quality and relevance of our accounting and finance program professionally. We at Sterling, we believe that our success is really the success of our students. So when we say the success of our students, we are not just referring to all the students that enroll with us are able to graduate successfully, but at the time of the graduation, they are equipped with both technical and soft skills, and they're very competent in their domains, and they are successfully able to find jobs in their relevant field of study. And our faculty team ensures this, and they provide distinguished support to the students also. And in a Rosselheimer campus, we are offering this flagship BA Honors degree in accounting and finance. As you can see over here, this is the typical timetable. This shows it's a 3-year program, and it shows the various subjects that a student will be studying during the course of the 3 years. In year 1 is, if you notice, it has very fundamental subjects. So in year 1, we will be introducing a student to all the fundamental and basic concepts of accounting and finance. So that essentially means anybody can join our program. You need not have any previous knowledge of accounting and finance to do our undergraduate program. And each academic year has 2 semesters, and each semester is 3 months long, and in each semester a student will be doing 3 subjects. They'll be studying 3 subjects. So effectively at the end of each academic year, they would have learned 6 subjects and taken the assessments for it. Moving on. Every year, higher education institutions locally in UAE as well as globally, they churn out hundreds and thousands of accounting and finance graduates. So we at Sterling, our mission is basically to make our students gain a competitive advantage in the labor market. So we at University of Sterling, Rosselheimer campus, we are now offering our interested students an opportunity to pursue the professional certification CMA. The CMA, or the Certified Management Accountant, is awarded by the renowned Institute of Management Accountants USA. So our students also have the opportunity to pursue this certification program. So we are the only university in the UAE to offer CMA coaching concurrently with our flagship undergraduate program in accounting and finance. So the CMA coaching classes will run concurrently. The interested students can join the CMA coaching classes, and they can also pursue their undergraduate program in accounting and finance at the same time. So that essentially means students at our Sterling Ras Al Khaimah campus, they have an opportunity to earn 2 academic qualification at the end of their 3 years with us at RAC campus. So that means they would be earning an undergraduate degree from Sterling, and they would also they can also complete the certified management examination, which will be conducted by this by IMA, and they can get a UK certified professional accounting degree. Most often we get a lot of students expressing their interest to migrate to Western countries. So this is actually a very good opportunity, because at the end of 3 years you will have 2 qualifications. One qualification from UK and one from USA. Both are from renowned and reputed institutes, which would give you an advantage in the labor market, not only in UAE but also globally. Your job prospects will be very high. And when you pursue a professional certification, what happens is that you gain not only you gain a theoretical understanding, you gain deep understanding of how these theoretical concepts are applied in the practical world. The CMA certified program is it's a very unique certification. I'll tell you why. We all know that these days we often hear in the news that a lot of automation is going on, and we are all aware that some of the jobs that existed few years ago do not exist today because of automation. And every day, because of automation, more and more people are losing their job because their work is getting automated. So accounting and finance domain is also not immune to automation. They are also, many of the traditional accounting and finance functions are getting automated. So what companies are now looking for is not just accountants and finance professionals who can do the simple number crunching and computation, but rather they should be very talented in using this financial data very creatively in strategic decision making, and lead the firm in ensuring that the firm can make sustainable profits in the future. CMA is very renowned globally, and many hiring managers also realize the value of CMA, and local SMEs as well as MNCs, especially MNCs who are into manufacturing, hire CMA certified professionals for various accounting and finance positions, both at the junior and at the managerial level. And on the brighter side is that if you're a CMA certified professional, your first job, you might end up getting a managerial level job. Usually landing your first job being a managerial level job is quite difficult, but with the CMA certification, it ensures that. Because CMA is very unique, because unlike the other professional certification, it does not merely test a candidate's ability to compute the financial data, but they also test whether a candidate is actually able to critically think, analyze, and apply these financial data in creative scenarios and make relevant decision making. That's what the CMA actually tests. So it is very relevant for the future, especially when a lot of automation is happening. And another not so surprising factor is that CMA holders earn more salary and they enjoy comparatively higher job security. This is the latest result published by the IMA Global Salary Survey 2019. But I would like to point out something. If you are interested in pursuing something very niche in accounting, like you're looking forward to joining auditing or assurance, or you're thinking of doing taxation, then CMA might not be so apt for you. then you will have to look into other options like ACCA and CPA. Otherwise, CMA is a very perfect option. Also, once you do the CMA, you join the elite club. So if you earn the CMA, if you pass the CMA examination, you get to use the designation CMA after your name. So that becomes like an instant recognition for your technical competence. And you also become a member of the reputed IMA. So IMA USA is very reputed and renowned. They often have a lot of networking opportunities. Even in IMA, UAE has two chapters, Dubai and Abu Dhabi. They often host networking events and professional development events. And they also conduct a lot of webinars. So that means you get to attend very interesting webinars hosted by professional and academics from all over the world. And when you take part in these professional development events and webinars, you get to be abreast with what is happening in the industry. And you also get an opportunity to network with other professionals. So networking opportunity means your chance of actually landing a dream job is even higher. So in order to earn the CMA designation, you need to pass the CMA examination. As I told you, the CMA examination are conducted by IMA. You need to pass two parts, part 1 and part 2. You can take these parts in any order. That is, if you really want, you can take the part 2 examination first, and later on you can take the part 1 examination. Unlike some professional certification programs offered from the UK, CMA does not have any exemptions. So that means if you really want a CMA, you need to study, you need to sit for the exam, and you need to earn it. And you also need to have a bachelor's degree from an accredited college or university in order to get the CMA designation. But that does not mean that you need to complete your bachelor's degree. While pursuing your bachelor degree, you can start studying for CMA and you can start taking the examination. So if you successfully complete your CMA examinations, both part 1 and part 2, what IMA does it does not at the first step issue you with a certificate. Rather, they first issue you with a transcript. So the transcript will say that you have taken the part 1 and part 2 examinations and you have scored the passing mark and you have now cleared the CMA examination. So you can use these transcripts while applying for jobs, and the hiring managers do recognize this. And after getting a job, you need to fulfill 2 continuous years of professional experience in management accounting or financial management, or 4 years of part-time work experience. And also, right from when you decide to pursue the CMA certification to after you are issued with the certificate, you need to still hold an active membership with IMA. So that will mean you keep registering and you pay an amount as a membership fee with IMA directly, so that you can your CMA status is active and you can use CMA after your name. Also, you need to earn after you receive your CMA certification. So that is after you clear your exam, you complete your bachelor's degree, and you fulfill your professional experience requirement, you will be issued with a certificate. So after you're issued with a certificate, every year you need to earn 30 CPE points. CPE points refer to continuous professional education. So I told a little earlier that IMA hosts a lot of professional development events and webinars. So every time you attend these webinars and professional development events, you get a letter of participation, and you will get you will collect CPE points. So in a year you have to collect 30 CPE points. This is actually a mechanism by which IMA ensures that their CMA professionals are continuously learning and abreast with all the latest happenings in their field of accounting and finance, and they are very relevant to their field. Now, coming to the CMA exam structure, as I mentioned earlier, the CMA has 2 examination parts, part 1 and part 2. You can take them in any order. So for each part, the exam will consist of 100 MCQ questions. These MCQ questions will have to be completed in a stretch of 3 hours. And if the student scores at least 50% in the MCQ session, Then they will progress on to the next section, which is the essay section. In the essay section, the students will have to actually answer 2 essay questions in a span of 1 hour. So in 1 hour time, they'll have to answer 2 essay questions. So essentially, the CMA exam consists of 2 sections, the MCQ section and the essay section, and it is 4 hours long. So for a candidate to pass each part of the CMA examination, they need to obtain a total scale score of 360 on 500. The candidates can choose to sit for the CMA examination during 3 examination windows in a year: January to February, May to June, or September to October. That is 6 months in a year. In these 6 months time, you can choose to sit for the examination any date and any time, subject to availability. You will be sitting for the CMA examination at Prometric testing centers, because the CMA examination will not be conducted by Sterling Russell Keimer campus. As I mentioned, it will be conducted by IMA. So these will be conducted at the Prometric testing center. So the CMA syllabus consists of part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is the financial planning, performance and analytics. And these are the different topics that you're seeing that will be tested. And these percentages are the weightage of questions that will be asked from each of these topics. Then your part 2 is the strategic financial management. If you see, look at the parts. It's called financial planning, performance and analytics. If you see, CMA tests the component of technology and analytics. It just shows how much CMA is thinking about the future, and they want their candidates to be ready for the future work. And over here also, if you see, it's strategic financial management. So these are the 2 parts, and these are the various topics that will be tested. So at University of Sterling Russell Keimer campus, what we are planning to do is we're going to start special training sessions to coach interested students for the CMA examination. So this coaching will begin in a very phased manner from year 1 of the undergraduate study itself. So once a week, we'll be dedicating class only for CMA. So the CMA coaching and the undergraduate studies will happen concurrently. We will be teaching using CMA approved study materials, and we will have small cohorts so that we ensure we give our students all the individual attention and intensive training. We will have regular internal assessments and feedback mechanisms just to ensure that all our students are on par and nobody is left behind. And the students, they will sit their CMA part 1 exam at the end of year 2 of their undergraduate study. And part 2 exam they will sit at the end of their year 3 undergraduate study. Now, I would like to just touch upon learning management system. When students join for the undergraduate honors degree program in accounting and finance at our Russell Keimer campus, what we want you to understand and what we want to assure you is that there is really no difference between our undergraduate program that is run in our Russell Keimer campus or in our Scotland campus. It's the same program. We will be teaching you using the very same study materials that is prepared by the Sterling campus, and it will be taught to you by faculty members who are approved by the Sterling campus, and you will be studying the same study materials, and every student will have an access to the learning management system Canvas. This access will be provided from the Sterling campus to every student. On the Canvas platform, all study materials, homework, sometimes quizzes, class discussions, everything take place on the Canvas platform, and all our students in whichever campus, be it Sterling or Russell Keimer campus, have access to the same platform and the same study materials. Our students, in fact, even take the same examination. So meaning you will have the very same question paper coming from the UK campus, except that you will be sitting at the Russell Keimer campus and taking it at the same time. So when your UK peers are taking the exam, you will be on our Russell Keimer campus and you'll be taking the exams. And also it will be marked both by the faculty team at the Russell Kaima campus as well as our main campus. This is to ensure that our programs are consistent in both the campus. And also the best part is all students will have access to an extensive online digital library provided by Sterling. So you will have access to study materials, any kind of online ebooks, a large database of journals, and accounting and finance students will specially get an online subscription of Financial Times and Economist. So that is also great news. So with that, we come to the end of our information session, and now we would be moving on to the Q&A session, and we have Ms. Shanti Rajan, who is the moderator, and our whole panel is here to answer any more questions that you have.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shanti. I'm presuming everyone can see me. Can somebody give me a yes so that I know that I'm visible? Yeah, right. Now, a couple of questions which kind of popped up on the screen. Thanks to Ms. Nishi. I think she has covered almost everything in terms of what we offer for our BA Accounting and Finance with the CMA coaching. And if there's anything particularly relating to CMA and the BA Accounting and Finance, that would be answered by Ms. Nishi and Mr. Sunil, who are the experts in that area. A couple of questions which kind of popped up, which I can read out, and then I'll signpost them to the subject expert. One is where it says, do you have a degree in analytics and data science? So shall I pass that on to Mr. Jason, please?
Yeah, sure. So we do have a master's degree available in big data, but in the bachelor's field, we do have certain modules which we cover in our software engineering and computer science program related to data science and data analytics. So if students looking for something related to these particular fields can look into our computing courses. And if you have already completed your bachelor's, then you can look into joining any of our master's course, yes, in those areas.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Jason. Another question which kind of popped up was, what qualifications do I need to become an investment banker? And I think I can route that to Mr. Sunil CT, who's a subject expert, or to Ms. Nishi Joy.
Hello, good morning. Hello.
Yes, Sunil, we can hear you. Yes.
Yeah, I saw that question. Okay. The simple answer to become an investment banker, the basic qualification should be an undergraduate degree, either in finance or in economics. Okay. And if you want to pursue further in that field, yes, you can go for a specialist master's program in the same direction, like we have MSc Finance. There they are studying in detail about the investment management, and they are having the hand-on courses on how to trade in the market. Okay, if they want to be an expert in that field further with this undergraduate program and our master's program, they can think about CFA, Chartered Financial Analyst courses also. Okay, so our undergraduate program, both BA Accounting and Finance as well as BSc Management, there is a good weightage for the courses in the field of corporate finance and investment management. Okay, in the second year and the final year of their undergraduate program, they are studying adequate number of courses which will give them hands-on conceptual knowledge and experience, realistic experience in that field. So there is no further requirement. These kind of courses and these kind of certifications are more than enough to get into the field of investment banker.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Sunil. Another question which I can see, I'll publish that in a bit. Let me read out the question for you. What is the passing percentage in general for CMA Part 1 and 2 separately and combined? I can route that to Ms. Nishi, who's the CMA herself, and to Mr. Sunil if you wish to add.
Okay, then I think I'll be able to answer that first. So as per the recent statistics, part 1, the passing percentage is around 40%, and part 2 it is 50%. I'm telling out of the people, those who are appearing for the examination, how many of them are clearing. So for part 1, it is 40 to 45%, and part 2, it is a bit more higher, it is around 50%. In an average, it is coming around 47%. Okay, but that too is people, those who are providing sufficient time of preparation, if they're preparing systematically. For those group, if you are selectively taking them, the passing percentage is more than 80%. Those who are systematically trained and prepared, the passing percentage is more than 80%. But if people are thinking it's an easy go and simply going and appearing, the failure rate will be higher. And it's a competitive examination, there is no exemption. The only way is you should be well equipped with the conceptual part. You should be able to apply those concepts in practice. Then only you can become a chartered certified managing accountant.
Thank you, Mr. Sunil. Yeah, there's an interesting question, I think, which Ms. Nishi can answer. It asks, is CMA course more tougher than ACCA? So Ms. Nishi, over to you.
I hope I'm still audible.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, so every professional certification has its own level of difficulty. Now, the difference between CMA and ACCA is ACCA offers some exemptions to some of the papers. In CMA, there will be no exemptions, so that really means you will have to learn and sit for all those exams and pass those part 1 and part 2. ACCA, you will have many parts, so you should be so after, in case if you're getting any exemption, even after the exemptions, you will have to study and pass all the other parts too. So I would say both, or in fact all professional certifications, they have their own level of difficulties. They're all difficult in their own unique nature, and they all have their own unique advantages. CMA is like a shorter route, provided you are very disciplined in studies. As Mr. Sunil sir pointed out, you need to be very disciplined in your studying process. You need to put in the effort, and you can surely pass the CMA.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Nishi. I'm just trying to read out another question which has come. It says, are the program syllabus, assessments and delivery standards the same at Sterling campus and the branch campus? And I think the Director Academics, Dr. Sufi Anwar, would be the right person for this. Over to you, Dr. Sufi.
Thank you, Shanti. I think, as I said in the beginning part of my overview, I can assure you, I mean, as even suggested by Nishi in her presentation, so it's just the branch campus of our Scotland main university campus. The moment you join or enroll for a BA Honours Accounting and Finance program over here, or be it this or any other program, your offer letter issued from University of Stirling main campus. You're also, it starts again with your ID. That again, student ID comes from the main campus. You definitely will also have one more, for the branch campus, what we are issuing you. Now, the moment you officially enroll, you accept the admission letter, you are, from that point in time, you are part of University of Stirling. I again reiterated, it's not whether you are studying over here or in the main campus, you are part of Stirling main campus. How is it happening? As we said earlier, the materials are same, the modules are same, examination assessments are going to be the same, even timing of the exam is same, access to learning material is the same, quality assurance system very tightly controlled because everything as per the Stirling. So all these things I'm sure definitely will assure you in terms of understanding how you are just physically away from the main campus, otherwise everything is going to be same. I hope this is enough to convince, I think, Shanti.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Sufi. I'll go on to the next question. I think that can be answered by Ms. Nishi. Is there an annual payment after passing the examination?
Yes, as I mentioned, even after you pass the CMA examination and even after you receive your CMA certification, in order to be an active CMA member and use CMA after your name, you have to maintain your membership with IMA. So you will have to make an annual payment of $235. you'll have to pay.
Great.
Annually.
Thank you. Thank you, Nishi. And I think this one also you could take. How many hours of preparation will be required on an average to appear for each part?
So it really depends. So at an undergraduate level, what our approach is, we are going to be spreading the CMA coaching right from year 1 to year 3. So different individual people will have individual approach. Some people will require 150 hours. We are definitely going to be doing more than 150 hours so that we ensure that all our students pass in the first attempt itself.
Thank you, Ms. Nishi. And I think this one could be for Mr. Jason. Is transfer to UK campus possible? That is one of the questions.
Yes, it is very much possible. We allow the students, because we are the same campus, the students get the same degree, the students are doing the same course. There is no difference in terms of credit hours, so there is no problem in matching them between both the university. So the students can take a transfer in either the second or the third year of their study, but it will be only for a duration of 1 year. So most of our students who have already taken admission, they think about taking a transfer in the final year. That is possible, but there are certain, I would say, clause to it that the students need to maintain a really good GPA. Why? Because in terms of our rankings, we are very, very strong. And especially when it comes to our accounting and finance course, we do not compromise on it. So students need to maintain at least 8 or 8.5 GPA throughout their degree. That is the first year and the second year. Only then, based on the recommendations of the faculty members in the RAC campus, then it will be possible. But yes, transfers are definitely possible.
Thank you, Jason. There's a question here in terms of internships. So I think I can possibly pitch in on that. The question is, are there any internships during the BA Accounting and Finance course? Now, in terms of the role that I play, which is ID, institution development, as Dr. Sufi was saying at the onset, University of Stirling is ranked by the Kwokadali Simmons, the QS, and one of the 5 stars is employability. And we take that very, very seriously in terms of helping our students, equip themselves for the real world, if you will. And so what is that we do? A couple of things. One is the curriculum that we have. We embed essential employability skills onto the program. But so how do students get that real work experience? So we have it in different ways. So one is we kind of tie up with some organizations, and during the quiet time, that is, during the summer breaks, we do offer internships for these students to go and be part of that organization, and also with certain audit firms and certain banks. So to answer the question, so our internships are part of the accounting and finance course. This is how we do. So essentially, when we are embedding and teaching those employability skills as part of the program, for students to have that real world experience, we do provide those kind of internships with where we have tie-up with some of the organizations. And also what we really do is, as the students progress towards the end of their graduation, if you will, we have something called a very, very intensive campus to corporate employability skills workshop. And this is where they are put through a rigorous skill workshop where we train them on certain competencies which are required by the industry. And we also do have industry experts to be part of that intensive workshop. So students are literally prepared and equipped for the real world. So if that answers the question. So I'll move on to another question, which has, I think that can be taken by either Mr. Jason or Dr. Sufi. If we just pass by 50 to 60%, will it affect our job, or do we need to have better mark? I'm presuming that's relating to CMA. I'm not very sure as to what exactly the 50, 60% you're talking about. Was it a CMA percentage, or is it an actual graduation? So do you want to take a call on that, Ms. Nishi?
I think the person would be referring to the undergraduate program, because in CMA, in order to pass, you need to score a scale score of 360 on 500. That's around 72%. That is the passing mark required for each part in the CMA examination. So certainly the person must be referring to the undergraduate modules, the undergraduate subjects in accounting and finance course.
Right. Thank you, Nishi. There was a question here where it says, what will happen in case if I fail a CMA exam part?
If you fail a CMA examination part, you can just retake it. You can prepare yourself and retake it in the next available window, examination window. You can prepare for it again and you can retake it.
Right. And there's specific questions relating to admissions, and I think Mr. Jason can answer that. What would be the entry requirements for a BA Honors Accounting and Finance course?
All right. Okay. Since Ms. Nishi stressed on our rankings and how this course is really very unique and different from all the other universities. So when it comes to entry requirements, we are pretty strict and we are pretty selective on the students who join the course. So we need at least 65% or above for students to apply. I'm not telling the students will be directly given a seat. 65 to 70% is an area where the students can apply, and then we will screen the students based on their aptitude and etc. to join the course. Students above 70% have a much higher rate of joining this program and doing better in this program. So 70% would be a benchmark for students applying for accounting and finance with CMA program. Apart from that, they need to have a strong understanding of the accounting subject. So we'll make sure that the students are fit to join this course.
Right. Thank you, Jason, on that. There's another one question. I think I can answer that. Apart from teaching, how do you engage students in other activities? It's a fantastic question at that. Like we all of us, we were echoing on the same thing, that University of Stirling RAC campus has instituted various centers of excellence, and one such is the Center of Academic Excellence. And the University of Stirling RAC campus has always made a pedagogical choice in terms of being a very student-centered, approach in terms of teaching and learning, and teachers essentially being facilitators in that process of learning. So how do we actually prepare our students for student engagement and various activities? Now, our students at the RAC campus Stirling, around the year, they have a very, very busy calendar of events, if you will, and that would include academic festivals, inter-university competitions, cultural events, town halls, webinars, and so on and so forth, public speaking workshops, and so on. And what essentially happens is through these various means, it provides students with a very unique edge, like I was telling you earlier, edge over their peers, and the academic rigor of the curriculum that we have combined with these events kind of acquaints our students with the required nuances of the real life world. And what essentially happens is that there is a 360-degree realm which exists and equips them to harness it effectively toward being a very good citizenry, if you will. And to talk about the events now, we are in COVID-19, we're all under lockdown, so we haven't stopped at that. So we essentially saying, how do we engage our students? And we are coming up with a huge global event. It's a national, international, intercollegiate competition. And we are calling that a Spotlight, Spotlight 2020. It's a first of its kind international global intercollegiate event, and it's completely dedicated to the contemporary finance and technology and the emerging thinking in that particular domain. And we have certain good, categories. One is on trading, which is a trading game on derivatives and forex trading. Another one is ideally the need for the hour, which is social fintech, which is social fintech business idea pitching. And another one, again, focusing on the technology, which someone was asking earlier about fintech and big data. So this essentially is a very project-based presentation. So we are engaging our students in various activities like this. So if that answers the question. There's a question, I think this could be for Ms. Nishi again. Do we need to pay again if we fail? I'm presuming again it's CMA, or it could be UG related.
I think this would be again for the CMA. So if you fail an examination, you in order to take the examination again, you have to pay an examination fee, and you pay it to the IMA.
Right. An interesting question here. When can we enroll and what are the fee charges? And that could either be for Mr. Jason?
Yes. The admissions are already open in terms of submitting your applications and processing your admission towards the University of Stirling. Bear in mind that we only take in 30 students per class. So because we are the only ones offering this particular program, there's a huge demand and students have already applied. And keeping in mind that most of the students who are from the CBSE curriculum, this year your results will be based on your performance in the grade 12. So your term 1, term 2, model 1, model 2 will be all consolidated, and then your results will be published. So most of the students kind of know what their percentages will be, and they have already come in and they have already submitted their applications and etc. So students can proceed with their applications towards University of Stirling, and after going through their documents and going through their transcripts, we will be issuing offer letters for the students. And when it comes to the fees, we have straightforward fees, which we can email the students about it. The actual fees for the course is 40,000 dirhams. And if you're also planning to do CMA along with it, it would be 5,000 dirhams extra per year. So, but we also do offer a lot of scholarships for the students. We understand the situations in the country, or everyone are facing through difficulties as of now. So we offer scholarships, and these scholarships will be applicable for all the 3 years that you are studying. It will not be just for the first year. Therefore, we can email the students regarding the same. You can leave your email addresses at the chat window, and we can directly send you informations regarding the fees, regarding how to apply, what documents you need to submit, etc. Yeah.
This question can be answered by Nishi. Do I need an accounting background to enroll in the CMA program?
You do not need to have an accounting background to enroll for the CMA program. As I told you, our undergraduate program itself, we are beginning from fundamentals, and in our CMA coaching, we will be laying very good foundations. We will be building on the basic knowledge, and then we go into advanced levels. So you do not really need to have an accounting and finance background, but strong computational skills would be very ideal.
Right. I think there's a last question here again. Possibly Mr. Sunil can answer that. How many years of work experience are needed to become a CMA affiliate? Mr. Sunil?
Hello. Yeah. Yes. I think Ms. Nishi has already covered in her presentation that point. Okay. So they need to have 2 years of experience after undergraduation, after clearing this, to become an affiliate.
Fantastic.
And if it is part-time experience, I think it is 4 years.
Right. Finally, I get to see a name on the chat box, Aditya. After I finish my BCom honors, can I become a chartered accountant? And I think Mr. Jason has already answered, where he says, yes, you can. So far, I think that was the questions and most of the questions which I can see here are kind of repetitive with, I think, the panelists have addressed. Is there any other questions you need to ask specifically relating to BA Accounting and Finance or CMA or internships or admissions? Feel free to post your questions or possibly speak. There's a question, will CMA help us get job easily? Ms. Nishi.
Yes, I did address this. You will definitely have a competitor advantage for sure when you apply for jobs.
Right. And an interesting question which I can see here is, can we enroll for CMA while in the second year?
Yes.
Yes, you can. But if you are planning to take the CMA coaching class with us, I would say it is preferable you would start with us from year one itself, because in year one, we are going to lay the very foundations and we'll be working with the basics. So it will be very good if you can join from year one with us rather than come into year two and join with us.
Right. That's an interesting question here.
Preferable. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting question, and I think Ms. Nishi can possibly take that, outside the forum, where it says what is the CMA exam format, because she's already covered that, and I think Ms. Nishi's email address was there in one of the slides. So if you want a detailed answer for that, possibly Ms. Nishi can address those, offline. Or would you want to add pitch in, Ms. Nishi? The CMA exam format.
The CMA exam format, as I discussed, it's 3 hours. In 3 hours time, you have to complete 100 questions, 100 MCQ questions. And if you get at least 50% of these MCQ questions correct, you will move on to an essay section. And all these are computer based. So the essay section, you will be given 1 hour time and you will have to attempt two essay questions. So for both the part 1 and part 2, this is the same format. So essentially you will have 2 sections that needs to be completed within 4 hours, and it's going to be computerized, and you will be taking these examinations at the Prometric testing centers.
Fantastic. Thank you. There's a very interesting question here which says, will you provide part-time job along with our studying? I think I can answer that. Students, we believe at University of Stirling, students are our ambassadors. We take good care of our students. We essentially, whilst they are with us and whilst they are studying with us, we actually prepare them for the real world at work. And I think Jason can echo what I'm saying. So at this particular point in time, the quiet time where students have just, they've taken a break till we join in autumn. A lot of our students, existing students, are actually working with us on campus on a part-time job basis. So like I said, so we are actually training them, to face the real world. So that's essentially what we are doing for our students at this quiet time. However, there is a couple of organizations who have approached us where they wanted particularly accounting and finance students, business management students, computing students to join their research and development team. And that has come up in the recent weeks. And we had an organization in RAK, Ras Al Khaimah, where they wanted some of these students to be working from home, because that's the only thing that's possible at this point. And if they can help those organizations in their R&D team in terms of making prototypes and, creating certain apps and things like that. So students have actually grabbed that opportunity. So to answer that question, do you provide part-time job along with studying? The answer is yes. Okay, there's a question saying, what is the salary of BCom Accounting and Finance? I'm presuming that can be answered by Mr. Sunil.
Ma'am, can you please repeat the question? What is the salary?
It says salary for BCom Accounting and Finance.
That's a difficult question to answer.
It is.
It depends upon in which company where you are going to get placed, because there is no uniform salary structure in the country or anywhere in the world.
Right. Can I pitch in there? The more equipped you are, the better competencies you have, the better skills you have, greater your chances of being successful in the industry. So essentially what I'm trying to say is an undergraduate degree alone enough for you to get yourself a fantastic job? It is. It possibly would be, as Mr. Sunil said. It would get you a job, but if you really want a high-paid job, like what Ms. Nishi was saying, the more professional qualifications you have, the better your chances. So get yourself equipped in this quiet time by getting all sorts of professional qualification that would help you, in better stead, if that answers your question. I think we have 5 minutes, Mr. Jason.
Yes.
All right, so one last question. What is the word limit in essay? I think that would be for Ms. Nishi.
There is actually no word limit in essay, and when we say an essay question, it is not always subjective. It will be objective. You will have to do some computation, and then, as I said, you should be, the questions will be saying how are you going to interpret and demonstrate how these computations you're going to be using in the strategic management and decision making. And there's no word limit, but ideally a student should be able to complete one essay question in 30 minutes. So in 1 hour time, they have to complete 2 essay questions. It's not going to be fully subjective. Yes, sure.
The essay question is not writing an essay actually. It's a scenario they'll be giving. So you have to go through the scenario, and based on the scenario, there may be a number of questions. You have to answer those questions based on the scenario as well as by applying your conceptual knowledge. So it is not a question for writing an essay. So under one scenario, there may be a number of questions. Like that, there are 2 scenarios will be given. Okay, they generally call it as essay questions, but it is not a question to write an essay.
Right. I cannot see any more questions on the Q&A tab. So I think we're presuming, we've answered all your questions with regards to our BA Accounting and Finance program, with regards to CMA, internships, placements, admissions, etc. Does the university help students to plan their finances and teach them about investing? Mr. Sunil? Does the university help students to plan their finances and teach them about investing?
Definitely, ma'am. Definitely, because I told, as in my previous, when I was addressing a previous question, I mentioned that there's a number of questions which is talking about the financial planning, corporate finance, and investment banking. Okay, so they'll be able to even plan their personal finance. Even they can advise their clients to manage their personal finance. Even they can act as a consultant for others, for their clients, to how to make a better portfolio of investment.
Absolutely. And if I may pitch in there, what we are actually doing during this quiet time till our students for the current cohort and for the students who are interested, we are conducting series of webinars on different, skill-based webinars. So essentially, we are helping students to A, stay engaged, and B, to upskill themselves. So when they come back in autumn, they would have learned a lot of essential skills. So to answer your question, so we have had a couple of webinars on investment banking, and we are actually planning for 1 or 2 in the next coming months. So we would be, sending you all details as and when webinars, specifically skill-based webinars, are in the offering. So I think with that, we can call it a day. Thank you so very much indeed for each and every one of you for being a part of this fantastic information session. Thank you all the panelists, Dr. Sufi, Mr. Sunil, Ms. Nishi, Mr. Jason, Mr. Ajay, and each and every one of the participants who've been here. It was an absolute pleasure. And we really hope to seeing you all on campus in autumn. Yeah, so thank you so very much indeed, and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.